I'm Mark Zampatti from the Corio Sports Treatment Clinic. Today I'm going to show you a taping technique using rock tape. Rock tape is a stretchy tape that we use. Other brands of it are Kinesio tape. There's lots of different types of sports tape. This is the stuff we use. We're going to use this as a supporting tape. It can be used when someone's got an irritable knee to calm the knee down and give it some support. It's good for people with patella tracking problems, patella tendonitis. Also good for kids that have got Osgood-Schlatter's disease, which is a condition that they go through in the growing years. So common use, multiple applications. I'll show you from the start how we prepare the tape. So we need 3 pieces of tape. This tape has got measurements. The black lines are a centimetre apart. So the first one we need is 15 centimetres. So we cut 3 sections of that, makes 15 centimetres, and then we also have 2 25 centimetre sections. So we basically can have 5 of those and then cut it. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit shorter or a little bit longer. The next thing you need to do is actually prepare the tape by cutting the corners off and rounding them off. This is because the adhesive in the tape is actually quite, it sticks well to skin, but once it lifts it doesn't stick back down again very well. So if you've got a sharp corner or a square corner, it's a lot easier for it to lift. When you cut the corners off, it basically stops it from lifting from the corner, because once it starts to lift it tends to keep lifting. So we basically cut off I double it over and do 2 at once. Try not to have any sort of loose threads or edges. Doesn't have to be really precise, but essentially having rounded corners. So just got Lockie here. We're going to take Lockie's knee on the left hand side here. So we take our short piece first, and it's the 15 centimetre one. We tear it in the centre, so it's got a tape backing. To get the tape off, the paper off, we tear it in the middle, and then we fold it back and then grab hold of it a bit like a band-aid, if you're going to put a band-aid on, like a really big band-aid. But we have a couple of centimetres either end where the tape is still on, and we basically find the bottom of the kneecap, so the bottom of that bony bit there, and we lay the tape over the top, and we put a bit of stretch on it. So this it'll stretch. If that's 100%, we want to have about 50% stretch on the tape. So we lay that over there and we stick it down, and then the end bits go on with no stretch. Okay, so you just rub them on, then give it a good rub. It's a little bit hard to see, but the colour of the tape through the middle where it's been stretched, it's a little bit darker than the end bits, which are a bit lighter. You probably see it a little bit better around this side. So see how it's sort of lighter there, and it's a little bit darker there, where that's not stretched, that's stretched. Alright, so now we're going to put on the other 2 bits. 25 centimetre bit. We're going to start down low, in front of the shin, pretty much over the shin bone. That first bit has no stretch on it. We then pull the tape up until we've got about 5 centimetres left and try and keep the tape out of the way. And then we, again, about 50% stretch, we come around the outside, lay the tape down, and then that last bit we just roll on. So there's about 5 centimetres with no stretch at either end. Give it a bit of a rub, make sure that it's well adhered. Then take your final piece of tape and we start on the outside this time. Again, lay on the first bit with no stretch, pull it out to about 5 centimetres left, and we roll around the inside edge of the kneecap. So you should have a little bit going over the kneecap, and then no stretch on the last bit. Alright, just roll, give it a good rub to make sure it adheres. Alright, just stand up, Lockie, and you end up with a few wrinkles and things where the tape looks a bit like an anemone, but basically the tape, when your knee is bent, that's when you need the most support, and you can see that the tape takes up tension when you've got it under a little bit of load. So it's a good one for those problems underneath the kneecap, underneath the patella tendon, so underneath that tendon there. And also for people with a bit of arthritis, it can be quite good. I use it in young people, old people, sports people, people that just get sore from everyday activity. So it's a really good universal taping technique that crosses over a lot of areas.